Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Casks-n-Que, or whiskey and barbecue meat. I'm your host, Justin Lloyd, and today we're gonna be making some bacon. Stick around. All right, folks, so what we have here is about an 8-pound and 3/4 slab of pork belly. Just picked this up from the local Costco. You can find these pretty much anywhere. They're pretty readily available these days. So this takes a bit of a process. We'll trim off any of the silver skin. Need to sharpen my knife again. But most of it we're gonna leave on. You wanna be sure and get the pork belly that has the skin removed. This is just the fat underneath the skin. So the skin, or the rind as some people will call it, that's gone. So we'll check and make sure we have a pretty good fat to meat ratio, which we do. If you can see that, there's a band of fat running through there, but that's okay. And there's some fat right here. I'm gonna leave that on because that's gonna render a little bit in the smoking process. So what we're gonna do is, you gotta be really careful to use some particular ingredients here. As you're curing this pork belly, you wanna make sure that you're using curing salt. That's what I have in this little container here. I picked that up from Academy Sports. That's just the cure salt that they have. It's pink and has the nitrates in it that keeps it from going bad. So we have 4½ teaspoons of coarse black pepper, 4½ teaspoons of coarse salt. I use sea salt in this case. We did about ½ cup of brown sugar and some distilled water here. And what we're gonna do is cut this guy in half. And this will be enough for about a 3½ to 4 pound slab of pork belly. So let's get started. Take your sharp knife, and I'm just kind of estimating here. I'm not going to weigh it or anything like that. Some recipes call for a 1-week cure, and some for just like 3 or 4 days. I haven't decided which I'm going to do yet. But I'll be sure and leave that information in the video, because we're gonna be back in either 3 or 5 days or maybe a week later to show you the results. And I'll walk you through the whole thing. And plus the recipe for the cure, I'll put that down in the description box below. I just wanna have 2 separate slabs of bacon. It makes it easier to handle. So we'll come in with our ingredients. And the curing salt, which is very important. Okay, folks, so I went ahead and doubled up on my cure just because I'm doing 2 separate slabs of bacon. But like I said, I have the recipe in the description box below. So we're gonna let this guy rest in the fridge. First, we're gonna cover him up. I'm gonna use just some of this press and seal stuff. Excuse me, I know that's loud. You want to check this every day. So that means going out and turning the slab over. You want to do that every single day until you're ready to put the bacon on the smoker. So we're just going to let that cure. All right, so we'll see you folks in a few days, maybe a week. Okay guys, we are back. It's been 8 days and we've had these pork bellies in this cure for that whole time. Now every single day I've gone out into the garage refrigerator and flipped each belly so that the cure can get on both sides for an even amount of time. So what do you say we go into the kitchen, wash these off, and see what we got? We'll be right back. Okay everybody, we went ahead and went in the kitchen, got these guys washed off. Here's kind of what we're looking like. I mean, it's just a, like we saw earlier, a pork butt or a pork belly cut in half. This is about I think it was a 10-pounder if I remember right. It's been a week. So, I mean, it's essentially bacon right now. So let's get a closer look at this, see what we got, and then we're gonna go. So we're gonna be running the UDS with royal oak lump charcoal and a few chunks of cherry wood for flavor. We're gonna go about 225 degrees until we reach an internal temperature of about 150 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, 150, that's what we're shooting for. So let's get a closer look at these just so you can kind of see what we got after 8 days of curing, and we'll go from there. And yes, it's sleeting and snowing. It's crazy. Arkansas weather, 65 one day and then 25 the next. We'll go ahead and run this fat cap down since our heat source is coming from the bottom of the UDS. Place one right there, the other one right here. All right, that's what we got. So like I said, we're gonna run as close as we can to 225. The temperature's kind of crazy today. I think we're about 27 degrees outside, so we're gonna do our best to maintain a good temperature. I think the main goal is just to get smoke on it, low and slow, until it reaches that 150 mark. So we'll be back. All right, folks, the moment of truth has arrived. So we got these pork bellies right at 152, 151. Overshot it by a degree or two, it's not gonna matter. So let's see what we got. One thing I kind of expected, well, when I started researching, I was surprised to find out that when you finish the pork bellies internally at 150 or, you know, within that range, that you don't end up with a bark, which I don't know why I thought I would. You know, you're thinking about bacon. So that's what we got here. It smells awesome. That cherry wood kind of gave it, you know, that mahogany color. So we're gonna pull these guys off, let them rest in the refrigerator for a while, and then we're gonna slice it and fry up some pieces and see how it turned out. Stick with us. Okay guys, so we're back in the kitchen. It's way too cold to be outside. We let our pork belly, bacon, rest in the refrigerator for a couple hours to get it nice and cool, because we want to be able to slice it easily. When meat is cooler, it's much easier to slice. So we're gonna get a few slices out of this and put it on the stove on the skillet behind me and see how our bacon turned out. Let's get started. Okay folks, so these edges of course are gonna be kind of uneven. I did not shape these up, so we're going to do that now. We'll try to get a straight edge on this piece of bacon, like so. Just kind of give you an idea. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like bacon. So, so far so good. So we'll just go with a few slices here. I'll go relatively thick. I don't like that thin stuff that shrivels up and to nothing. So we'll get a couple pieces here. That's one piece. Still has some pepper and some of the seasoning on it. Tell you what, let's get 3 or 4 pieces. Let's see. No, I'll give one to each person in the family. We'll do 5 slices. 1, 2. That might be too thick. That's all right. 3. This would work much better if you had a meat, you know, like an industrial or a commercial meat slicer. I used to have a meat slicer, but it ended up, the motor went out on it, so had to get rid of it. But if this turns out okay, then look at that, that's nice. Like I said, if this turns out okay, then it's something I'll have to purchase and maybe upgrade from the brand that I had last time. All right, let's go to the stove. Okay, I believe that our skillet is up to temperature. So let's get our first piece of bacon on there. Makes the right sound, doesn't it? Like I said, these are a little thicker than what I would probably normally slice, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with thick bacon. Okay, we're getting that sizzle. That fat's starting to render. Smells like bacon. Looks like bacon. it tastes like bacon. Here's a shot of what we got. Did one a little extra crispy, one kind of more medium, and then one like this one down here. Where is it? Right here at the bottom. That one's a little less crispy than the others. So I kind of did 3 different styles. Let's give it a try. Okay, so let's go for this crispy piece. Sweet smoke right away. That's that cherry wood. Okay, the second piece that may not be quite as crispy. Savory, juicy, not as much salt as I would like. Definitely smoke. All right, and this last piece, which is the thinnest, here we go. That's the best one. I will say that I probably should have used some more salt. But that's also being used to, you know, bacon that's been bathed in who knows what kind of salty solution, right? So when you make your own cure, your own brine, whatever you call it, it's probably a little bit less salty than what it would be if you got it out of the grocery store. Okay, let me finish this. Okay, everybody, so just to recap, we took I believe it was a 10-pound pork belly. We just cut it right in half. We took both those 5-pound pork bellies. We made a cure, which is in the description box below. We put it in that cure and we turned each pork belly over every single day. So we did that for 8 days. We put it on a smoker. Well, first we rinsed it off, get all the pepper and, you know, all the ingredients off. Then we put it on the smoker, running about 225 to 250 today with lump charcoal. Used some cherry chunks, some cherry wood chunks for flavor, and pulled it off when it was about 150 degrees. Put it back in the refrigerator, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours to let it get cooled down so that it would be easy to slice, which made a big difference. And then we just cooked it like you do regular bacon. I think this is a good way to save money if you eat a lot of bacon, you have a large family. It's really, really good. I will say that the recipe in the description box, if you like your bacon a little more salty, then I think you could probably add more salt and be fine. How much, I don't know. That remains to be seen, but just want to thank you for stopping by Casks-n-Que, where whiskey and barbecue meet. If you like what we're doing here, please consider subscribing. You hit that little subscribe button down at the bottom. There's a bell down there in the lower right-hand corner of the screen that you can smash that, and that's going to notify you every single time that I upload a new video. So pass this along to your friends, share it, all that kind of stuff, and we'll see you next time.